Hello, this is Stephen Hawkins. I am the most intelligent retard in the world. And I say like and subscribe to the Triple B, 'cause he does know shit about boxing. Like that snitch time Sonny Edwards, who looks just like Gollum and is also a pussy hole. And just want to say that I went to Epstein Island only to watch and did not take part, as my Corey does not get hard.
Oh yes. Salam alaikum, shalom ben shalom, wagwan peeps. Hello, what's going on, motherfucking Triple B fans? This is a motherfucking Triple B right here, motherfuckers. That's what I'm talking about. Yo, I'm working on my, demonetization appeal. Well, I say I'm working. I've written a few notes, but that's pathetic, man. It's fucking. B's fixing up to appeal it, but I feel like some university student apologizing for using like AA to write an essay and shit. It's pathetic, man. Talk to me like that, But anyway, yeah. If you want a Cash App, because I ain't getting no money, Cash App. So you got # Bingo G14. If you want to show some love, also if you've never used Cash App, you go to the description. Hit on the affiliate link, yeah, and once you move some money, so let's say you move Triple B £5, you get £5. So in the end, you don't spend no money, and it's going to be quite useful. Cash App, it can be used a lot more when it's rolled out, for drug deals and stuff like that. So, yeah. Anyway, I don't, I got one bit of haterism, but against me from one of my funds, and asking for money is back. I don't expect me funds to pay. I don't expect me fans, but I'm not like fucking Ricky Hatton. Yeah? Imagine Ricky Hatton, I was thinking, COVID, look, all these mean par fans under lockdown, and I know, bing, like a fucking light bulb come up in his fat head, bing, I know how to make it better. They might have lost their freedom, and they might have lost their, they've got jibber jabbered, which he pushed, by the way. But if, I'm going to invite them to watch me have an exhibition with Marco Antonio Barrera, and I'm only going to charge them £90 for the cheapest tickets and £1,000 for ringside seats. What a scum. Imagine having a bare-ass cheek, to say that you're so worried about your fans, you're going to charge them £1,000 to watch fight an exhibition against Marco Antonio Barrera. Anyway, enough of that fucking degenerate prick. I've seen some ting on Instagram or whatever. Yeah, hey Ricky, Ricky loves a joke. Yeah, Ricky loves a joke. If you found Triple B in bed with his wife, he took him in. I wonder if you found fucking Triple B in bed with his wife, you'd probably tuck him in too. I make him coffee, dick. But yeah, and it had this thing. Hey Ricky, how old is he now? 45, and he's sitting in front of some like whack Zex shop, and he's pretending to whack off in front of some stupid like model, mannequin thing. Ricky, you're so funny. You're 45, you muppet. You're now 18, going to Amsterdam for the first time, and his atrocious son Camp Bellend Hatton liked it. Can you imagine that? What a fucking embarrassment, man. He's a granddad, Ricky Hatton, scum. Anyways, forget about it. I'm going to talk about Inoue Fulton at some stage, but I'm sitting there in my basement watching a bit of tennis, female tennis, and that's a female sport that I watch, because they're quite good, even though they would get crushed by the mans, but they're quite good, and it's quite wholesome tennis, isn't it? It's more wholesome than other sports, except maybe bowls. Bowls is very wholesome, but with tennis they're polite, they're likable. They got some class about them. I know you used to get the old Connors and McEnroe. That's before my time, but that must have been quite fun, to be honest. But it's a more wholesome sport, The girls are pretty, especially when that XY chromosome female Serena Williams ain't playing. She's got some oil drilling husband. I think he was something to do with Reddit, but he's not that rich, right? quite wimpy. Got way less money than her, man. It's a weird get together, if you ask me. Yeah. And you know, like the father, what's his name? I forget his name, man. But he hated white people. He's got them fat white turkeys and this, that, and both his both his daughters are getting oil drilled. So I find that's kind of funny, man. And Serena, she doesn't seem like a bad person, but I mean, come on, blood. There's got to be some PED usage or something. Yeah, and I hate to be a fly on the bedroom wall between the oil driller and Serena, man. I mean, it's just a weird get together, with a huge ass. You know what I'm saying? And he's like some wimpy guy, well, he's not as wimpy as son of Edwards, of course, but very few people are. But I bet there's some weird ass, psychological role play one. Some master and slave type golden shower humiliation vomit stuff. I don't want to think about it. Like right now, I like watching the wholesome blonde girls play, like Katie Bolter, is that her name? Donna Vekic. Yeah, right now I'm watching some pretty slim blonde called Elena Rybina or something like that. I don't know where she's from, but she's cute anyway. Tall, slim, attractive. Yeah, I'd take her out for shorter Nando's. But yeah, they should have this law in Wimbledon, right? Sorry, man, Wimbledon whisper. Like Wimbledon, no, you're not allowed to wear colours. You have to have white or mainly white. Yeah, because and I like that. You've got to have some class, some tradition. Well, they should say, sorry, man. They should have a board. If you're too ugly, sorry, man, you're not allowed to play. Only the females, I mean. Because female sports is basically about how attractive the female players are. That's all you get. You get men watching it. Yeah, and apart from they being brainwashed, oh, the lionesses are better than the men. Yeah, come on, I've been through this a million times. They get wiped by 15-year-old boys. In fact, 14-year-old boys, 7-0. But what was I talking about? Fuck this. Yeah, like the tennis is mainly with the tennis as well. You get these guys watching. I'll never watch it. I watch it once a year, and I'll be like, oh, she's hot. No one's interested in Serena Williams, really, apart from real hardcore tennis fans. She's ugly. She's got an ass like a fucking sofa bed. I mean, obviously, she ain't ugly to her oil drilling husband, but there's probably some fetish thing in it. But yeah, women's features and face and is their main card to play in life, in society, in sport. And people talk about the glass ceiling. No, man, they're just incompetent. Yeah, that's the reality. Small brains, more emotionality. I'm not going to get in this conversation right now. This is a boxing channel, believe that. But anyway, I hate watching the mingers and rug munchers. They should have this, like, I don't know, maybe the funds could choose. Yeah? Online, they enter, is this girl allowed to play? Is she fit enough? That would be nice, man. Yeah, anyway, this video is meant to be about Inoue Fulton, the monster. He's a slick black boxer. But talking about Orientalist athletes, right? Like Inoue. Yeah, so I went back to the gym. I stopped getting my drink on. Man, I went back. I got out of the basement. The first time since Manchester. Ricky Hatton's hometown, and there's some beautiful white women's out there in the summer, man. I ain't no pervert, I'm a Christian now, but some of these girls, man, I'm not talking about the ones with stupid ass tattoos. I'm talking about the classy girls walking around, and they were blood clot. But I'm not tempted. I'm strong enough. I ain't doing no graping for real. But anyway, in the gym, talking about Orientalists, so I walk in as this China girl, yeah, because it's one of these big gyms where there's that private changing rooms, but mostly a lot, basically mix a lot more. And there's Chinese women come out, and I tell you what, man, like it's well known, like like most people say, Chinese women, they don't have much curves, they don't have much breastises, they don't have big breastises, they don't have big batties. But this girl got back. This Chinese girl got back, man. And obviously you always get outliers, right? You know, you always get outliers. And you might get a guy from Congo who has an IQ of above 80. I don't know. It's rare, but it happens. Coco, by the way, had an IQ of 87, if you know about Coco. But yeah, this girl's obviously, she's working her booty, right? She might be an outlier too, but I've noticed this so much in gym now. And back in the day, girls didn't want a big ass. They say, like, I just want a peach, man. Peachy ass and shape. And they will say, oh, my butt looking good. Now they go, please tell me my butt looking big. You know, it's because girls are so easily manipulated by what's on TV, magazines. They'll push whatever they want. They can convince a girl to do anything. Yeah. I mean men as well, you know. But women seem more manipulable and more emotional. And this Chinese girl got back. You know, it doesn't attract me, right? Don't get me wrong. I just thought it was kind of unusual. I never suffered from a condition called rice fever, bamboo fever. I ain't into that thing. So a lot of white guys are. I mean, white guys especially. You know what I'm saying? But I did once smash a Thai girl. I went to Thailand on holiday, right? I don't like to talk like this now, but whatever. It is what it is. It bees what it bees. I'm fine. I can't talk about it now. Yeah, so I went to Thailand. 2 hours of London and Bangkok. I got some ting tong. I went back to the hotel room. Yeah, and like I said, Oriental girls love white men. You get the ugliest, fattest white turd, and he'll go over there and you've got some young Thai ting. It's weird, man. It doesn't appeal to me, but you know, and around the world they all love white men. You know, don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype that's going on in social media and magazines. Oh, white men's awful, white people. Listen, man. Everywhere around the world, they love to have a white man. It's a status thing, man. Right? You go to Africa. African women adore white men. Adore white men. It's just a status symbol thing as well, but also they don't get treated well. Yeah, don't. And you look at what is it? Like they got data on dating thing, right? White men are right at the top, except, but this was done in the USA, right? This was done in the USA. This survey, right? Except black women, African American women, whatever, Afro-British women. They don't like it, but that's because that's a cultural thing, right? And the a cultural manipulation. Oh no, you don't go out with a white man and muscle thing and blah blah blah, and you know, white men are not really that into oil drilling except Sonny Edwards and Caleb Plant, David Greenblatt Diamante, you know, weirdos basically, but yeah. Anyway, so. Yeah, so Ting Tong get on her knees, man, and she get out the 7.8 Corey status. I mean, and she stares at it, man. Yeah, with the mouth slightly open, like, oh, Triple B, you're so big. She look at it like it's some work of art, you know, with like flashing fucking lights on it, man. Anyway, I give this Ting Tong ting. I give it a few seconds to admire the scenery, and I'm like, yo, Ting Tong. Don't just look at it, eat it. This is back in the day when I was, when I was a wrong'un. But I ain't like that. I'm a Christian. I would never act like that now. I would want a nice wife. You know, it's degenerate to be like that. I find a good woman of my own peoples. Yeah? Well, I mean, you know, I'm at like 85% white, look Italian. So, you know, I consider myself to be honorary white man. But yeah, you know, I get someone from my own race, whatever race, if I marry them. It's always more likely for the union to stick together, have happy kids, this kind of thing. And never watch no porno or no weird stuff on TV, degenerate, naked obsession. This is how they get in your head and mess you up. You know, especially porno. Stuff that, you know what they do with porno is documented, right? Stuff like, so the stuff that they'll pump whatever they're pushing on you. At the moment it seems to be trannies and I don't watch it, by the way, but I'm saying, You know, you can see it on forums and stuff. Yeah, they'll be pushing trannies and you know, group stuff. They've done it for ages, and I don't want to say the word, but you know, they'll be pushing like interracial. What's the other one? But they'll be pushing family stuff. That's the sickness. Apparently, they started pushing like stepdads. Oh, it's fucking disgusting. And there's this thing, right, with porno and stuff. See, the natural state of human sexuality is to be interested in someone's face, their body a bit. Nothing weird. They just want to get together, kiss, hold hands, you know, maybe make love. But the porno and all these other things, you start to get in your head, and you start off by being disgusted, you know, by these things. You know, putting up the banter hole. You start by getting disgusted. Like when I first saw like hardcore, I was like, this is the most sick shit. You know, I was a youth as well. I was disgusted. I don't want to see nobody's ting Corey. I don't want to see nobody's Corey. I don't want to see nobody's hairy batty hole going backward and forward. I was like, this is some sick stuff. But eventually, you get hit with it. In that time, you get used to it. And then the disgust turns to fascination. Then you start, the disgust starts into fascination, and then also it you know what, like something that was forbidden, you get that feeling, and you get drawn to it. It's fucking, it's psychological. It's disgusting. So just keep away from that shit, man. Keep away from that shit. It's disgusting, man. What was I talking about? Inoue. Oh yeah, I did go out with this half Chinese girl, Canadian, half Canadian, white Canadian, half Chinese, but she was westernized, right? She looked Latina, really, you know. But you know, to wind her up, I say she looked like an Eskimo sometimes. But yeah, I used to sing to her, I'm only gonna break your. She'd a Canadian, you know. They managed to, they took Canada, which used to be an outdoorsy, not macho, but manly, a society, and they turned it into real leftist within one generation, 15 years. So they were like this. They're real like libtards, yeah. And you know, like she's always as if I let you break my heart, and I did anyway, but not on purpose, you know. But I ain't into that chow mein, as Johnny Fisher says, chow mein drilling anyway. So it wasn't really about that anyway. We would go on, you know what I'm saying. But because she's right on Canadian and all that, I knew it wouldn't last long, and I ain't into that. Like I said, the rice drilling, but you know, and she knew when she was wrong, you know, because I would say, look, this stuff is bullshit, this liberal stuff, and she didn't care. She wouldn't agree to my worldview. She'd be like, no, she would. I mean, I give her some respect. She's like, look, you might be right, but I don't care. I'm not going to accept it. Which at least, you know, she had a brain. I was like, say, like, come on, man, you telling me you get 10 pygmies out of the Congo jungle, right? And let's say 10 Chinese people from West China, huh? And you give them the exact same upbringing, the exact same education, and you're gonna tell me that everyone will be equal and will do exactly the same in the test. You're not gonna tell me that the Chinese are gonna beat every one of the pygmies at school, yeah. Plus the pygmies are gonna have like 10 times the rate of graping, and she like, I'm not answering that question, but she knew. But this is how strong, the manipulation, the propaganda is, you know, the emotional manipulation. And you know, I was on the Mongolian basket we've informed the other day, even like in to actually try and pretend that there's no differences between cultures and races or whatever species. It's just fucking insane, man. I seen on the Mongolian basket we informed some stats, friend, saying that the poorest white trash area in the United States, the poorest white trash area. Everyone loves to rubbish white trash, you know. I'm not a big fan of it myself, to be honest with you. You should be doing better. But but they got lower crime rate than the richest African American area. So what you know about that? I'm not drawing no conclusions. Right, what you know about that? Life ain't fair. People are different, man. Yeah, homogeneous societies have far less crime and a better rate of trust and community than mixed. The multiracial thing is an Illuminati thing, because they want people to fight amongst each other. They want people to get obsessed and hate, and have no unity, no glue to bind them together, because, you know, then you can't overthrow the masters, can you? When people are fighting amongst each other. You know, in the Bible it says people should live and marry amongst their own peoples. Yeah, and there's always room for movement and interaction. You know, but the general rule is correct, and that's the way to a healthy society. Japan being the most healthy society. Like I said, and then we get back to Naoya Inoue. Japan. Yeah, and Japanese fighters, so he's Stephen Fulton, unbeaten guy, not a big puncher, but Japanese fighters are hard to beat at home. They're hard to beat at home. You know, I don't know if that's some kind of rising sun bullshit, but the thing is as well about Japan, it's probably the only place in the world where the judges are fair. I mean, sometimes they go the other way. I remember Japanese fighters seem to have won a fight and they give it to the foreigner, which is kind of nuts. And you know, it's a weird place. I've been to Japan, yo. I've been to Japan. I recommend it thoroughly. You know, it's a great place. It's weird though, man. They got Japanese people have allegedly the highest IQ in the world. I can see that. They are intelligent. They're also quite what's the word? They got integrity. I mean, it's kind of mad the Second World War stuff, but they can get manipulated as well. But you know, some people say they look very similar. You know, they look a bit similar, like ants and that. Like, and then their followers. You know, they lack innovation. They're very intelligent, but they lack innovation. I can see that. I don't know if it's a cultural thing or a brain thing, but they suddenly did lack a certain amount of innovation. That usually come from the West and Europe nations. And the young, it was quite weird because the young, they ain't really got their own culture. They just copy different Western styles, you know, like tribal almost. Yeah, and you know, they're polite, they're intelligent, they got their ways, man. They both look down on foreigners, and also kind of aspire to be a bit more like them. It kind of strange. There were like bars where you're not allowed anything Japanese. Yeah? And I agree with that shit. I fucking agree with that shit. If you want your bar to be Japanese, where Japanese people, you know, can hang out, Japanese men can hang out with Japanese men, then they should be allowed to. All these stupid rules. Oh, you got to do this. Fuck that, man. I got no problem with that shit. I almost tried to go into one of them. I was like, no gaijin, or whatever. I'm like, oh, okay, no problem. I didn't sit there and, you know, start writing letters about fucking how awful the Japanese and racist they are. Fuck that shit. I'm like, cool, man. Good to know the bar blood. You know what I'm saying? But you will never be one of them. That's the other thing in Japanese. They're very different from all other people around the world. You know? And the women love the white Corys. They love the white Corys. They're not fans of black Cory, funnily enough, really. A bit, of course. They always get some, you know, there'll be some Japanese mud sharks. Look at, what is it? Tennis player Naomi Osaka. I think her dad was an American black guy. I don't know. Yeah, Japan, I like to go back if I ever leave my basement. I remember looking outside, you know, and I seen like a bunch of, you know, like workmen, like whatever, I don't know, 6 a.m. man, and they're doing warming up exercise before they start working. You don't see, you ain't gonna see that in England or anywhere else in the world. And, you know, I respect it, but they got their rules. They got their rules, which is a bit harder. Anyway, you know. Sorry, I get back to boxing. There's many real boxing channel. I mean, like wittering about anything, but because so little shit happens in boxing, you might as well talk about other shit. But we got a good fight here. Yeah, we got a genuinely good fight here. Naoya Inoue. You know, Inoue is one of those. I entered it in Box Direct, right? Inoue is like, it seems to be one of the most common names. Like, not even like Smith, like worse than that. Like, you go to Inoue, yeah, and look on Japanese boxing. There's about 13 pages of them, man. Yeah, so it's a very common name, but we all know Inoue. You know, he got power. He's called a monster. As I said previously, they really win out of Japan, but a lot of you know, they don't go out of Japan that much. They don't need to. They got enough money and funds there. You know, when they go out of Japan, they lose a lot. Like think of Ogawa vs Cordina. I thought Ogawa would win that. Cordina earned him out, man, spectacularly, man. Spectacularly, that was. Yeah, like, and Japan's a really successful boxing nation. It's got 80. I think they have 86 world champs in the history, but you know, until I think the 60s or 70s, they didn't really box. You know, I don't think, you know, before then I didn't think they really had many champions. But at one point, I seem to remember they had like 11 champions. Now we know that the world title is a joke these days, and most of them are going to be manlets. You know, I mean, I think did they have a middleweight champion, a super middleweight champion recently? But on the whole, they're going to be manlets, and Inoue is a dwarf, really. But you know, obviously not compared to Snitch Time's son at Edwards. But I looked at Fulton a bit, you know, because I'm thinking, you know, the story is obviously Inoue is moving up on weight, right? It's only like 4 pounds or something, but you know, Fulton's it's one of them cliches, and it's slick back boxer. He hasn't faced one like this. Yeah, that's what Fulton said himself, but yeah, that's fair enough. So I had a look at Fulton because I haven't really bothered. He didn't really excite me. You know, so I watched about a minute of him really, and I was like, yeah, he's okay. He's got no real power though. He's boxing in Japan, right? Fulton's 2-1. Outsider. That's not wide enough for me, you know, to put any money on. You know, I mean, he's got a chance, yeah, because he's naturally bigger and he's like a trickier style, but I wasn't that impressed by him. You know, if it was 4-1 or 6-1, I'd be like, yeah, I'll put a 5 or a 10 on that. But nah, not 2-1. Forget about it. No, I'm going to stay away from that. But yeah, as I said, like Inoue is moving up in weight, so that's what's against him? Inoue, he's moving up in weight. And he's meeting his first slick black African American boxer, TM. But it's in Japan. An upset's not out of the question. I don't expect it. By the way, when's it happening? Is it this week or next week? 1 minute, man. I think it's next week, right? Oh, come on, you bomber clat. Tuesday the 25th of July. Hang on a minute. I might have got it wrong. Maybe it's more than that. Whatever, man. Yeah, it's the 25th of July. Oh, I'm sorry. I was a bit premature. So, you know, it's more or less, yeah, 3 weeks. So, I mean, is it on the weekend? I'm sorry, man. I should have done my preparation, but I kind of freestyle this, man. So Tuesday, it's on a Tuesday, right? The Japanese often have their fights. Like I noticed, like Australians have their fights often on Wednesday. So Japan, this is on Tuesday, right? Now, because it's in Japan, Rio, Japan. You'll be able to watch it like 11 a.m. or something, or midday in the UK. So that's a treat, man. It's a nice time. So like, I don't know what channel it's on, right? But it doesn't matter, man, because if you know what you're doing, you know, you can watch that shit for free wherever you are. I don't know if it's on. It's on Sky, blood clots. I pay for that dog shit. The worst boxing channel is Sky now, and it wasn't always that way. You know, see, you know, Shalom has really made it into a pit, man. We'll talk about how she's a genuine superstar, you know. Oh, Clarissa Shields. Adam Smith even said, you know, I miss him now compared to Shalom, you know, because at least with Adam Smith, he seemed to have some control over the fights, you know. Even Adam Smith said, we are a genuine superstar, Clarissa Shields. There are glitters of superstars. She's fucking terrible. No one gives a fuck about her, man. She walked around the streets. No one even fucking knows she is. Stop lying to us. And that Shalom's just about, who's that fucking pig? Natasha Jonas is a genuine superstar. And she's undisputed in 2 divisions. Shut up. I'd like to give you a good slap. Yeah, cross-eyed weirdo. Yeah. You know, let me tell you, I keep on meaning to make a video about it. There's only one reason that piece of shit got his position, right? The head of Sky Sports got it. Why? I noticed all the videos. He's a friend of his. Yeah. Notice all the if you go look at all his early, interviews, they're all about diversity in boxing and women's boxing. It's ESG. Comcast, has got part of it. Comcast owns Sky Sports or Sky, right? So BlackRock, if you don't know about it, you should do. Larry Fink own not huge shares, but they have a set shares there and control over it. The real control comes in though, yeah. Companies, and they've got their fingers in all these companies, media companies, pharmaceutical companies, food companies. And this is why advertising changed so much, especially because Larry Fink, a billionaire, multi-billionaires, right? And he's got access to the most tremendous funds, has said he will give money to, he will give grants to companies that push ESG, that push diversity, that push, better business, whatever. Yeah, let's call it ESG. Let's call it degeneracy. So that's what's happening, and that's why we got all this rubbish women's boxing, and that's why they brought in Shalom. All right, I'm gonna do a full video on this. I've been meaning to do it for a year, to be honest with you, but it's not my favorite side. I want to talk about the politics of boxing. I want to talk about boxing. Why do I get into why did the Triple B get into boxing? Because it's two men beating fuck out of each other to find out who's the top dog. Real men. We didn't have UFC, when I was real young. When I still remember the first one, but also boxing, everyone knows what a punch looks like. A woman who's never watched boxing before can watch a fight and know who's winning. Whereas somebody in the UFC, they're rolling around on the floor and someone's batted hole is on the end of someone's nose. I mean, blood clot. Yeah, it's the best fight. You could say the most football fighting sport, but come on, man. We don't do that shit in the hood, as Hopkins say. You don't roll around on the floor with someone's asshole on your fucking nose. You know what I'm saying? Well, some people probably do. Like Spencer Fearon. Well, he's not from the ghetto anyway, middle class. Another liar. He wasn't brought up in violence like Sonnet Snitch Time Edwards. I love me funds. I love talking shit. Anyway, back to the main point was meant to be. I got sidetracked. I like a tangent though, but so Stephen Fulton, he's Naoya, Inoue. Yeah, on the 25th of July. I'm sorry I got the wrong date. I thought it was this weekend. But yeah, not worth putting money on. Not worth putting money on. I might look at the odds closer to see if there's some value in like a Inoue KO or under or over the odds. But you know what? You've got to pick your value in boxing. I've given people. The only fuck up I've had that I've given people, right, was Javante Gay Davis vs Rolly Romero. Rolly was 6-1. I just thought Davis hadn't looked so good, and I think against Cruz and what's his name? Romero was aggressive in a punch, and I thought, he got a bit of a chance. I didn't say he was going to win, but I was wrong. But apart from that, all the fights I've called correctly, and I've given a 14-1 Lucas Rosinski KO win, the savage cabbage in one round. I've given you, what else have I given you? Big Joe Joyce KOing Joe Parker. A whole bunch of other ones I can't remember, but the point is, I don't see much. What I'm trying to say, I don't see much value on this for a bet. And if you seek out a bet because you're desperate to find a bet, then you convince yourself there's a bet there. But I don't see a bet here at this point. I don't see a bet. As I said, if it had Fulton at 4-1, I'd be like, yeah, that's worth a small bet. But it ain't 2-1. I'm not taking that shit. Anyway, motherfuckers. Remember. If you want to show love, there's always the Cash App situation. I'm going to be keeping me funds up to date for free. I'm not going to charge them £90 for a seat like Ricky Hatton. I'm gonna keep. What's going on my appeal? It's fucking gay, man. But otherwise, I'll probably have to start up a new channel. And people say like, you start up a new channel. I've been meaning to do a Patreon again for about a year and I haven't done it. And people say Rumble as well is worth looking into. So, I got to get off my ass and get some shit done. But I'm fine of fixing up to do that. So, peace in the Middle East. Peace in the Middle East. And thank you to all the donors, to all the fans. Alright? And I might do a live. I might even do one tonight out of respect for me fans who suffered on that fucking COVID. And they don't even have to pay fucking $1,000 to watch my live. whatever Hex Toys comes on and he wants to cash at me, I'd have no problem with that. But yeah, anyway, peace in the Middle East. And hate the haters. Destroy the haters. Hate the evil.